one foot in the grave.
I've got a date tonight.
Oh, and it's been so long, you've forgotten what to do.
I've got to convince your mother that I really am sorry that I hurt her.
He's back my age. 2 failed marriages. Professional man. Nice dresser.
Unfinished Business continues Saturday at 10 to 10 on BBC One.
What does upstairs look like?
You'll never know.
When I first started to do it, I felt so stupid. One of the best jobs in the world, I reckon.
Pleasure Beach starts Monday, 9:30 on BBC One.
Disaster at sea revisited for the crew of an American warship. Tonight's film is based on a true story. Mission of the Shark in 45 minutes. Your call could count first on BBC One, January's Crimewatch UK.
Good evening. Tonight, a nationwide appeal about the shocking murder of Kate Bushell, the 14-year-old attacked while walking her neighbour's dog. The hunt for the sex attacker who's striking with growing violence. We revisit a crime where a viewer has come up with an astonishingly detailed recollection of events.
And we hope to be as successful as the programme was last month. So far, 7 arrests. One man asked for nearly 500 offences to be taken into consideration. All but 2 of those arrests are as a direct result of viewers' calls.
Before tonight's main reconstructions, a chance now to solve the dreadful case that's been so big in the news today. The attempted murder of the Czech student found in a coma, crammed into a lavatory compartment on a train between Hastings and London. We can now show you pictures of the last person known to be with her. Now, this video has just been found. It shows the victim in Hastings town centre. She's wearing a vivid red coat and black trousers. It's 2 days ago. It was Sunday at 12:30 lunchtime, about 40 minutes before she took that train. Now, it's a hazy picture, but you would recognise yourself, so was that you beside her? Or if you've got any idea who it was, please don't hesitate to try to name that person. There is a £5,000 reward, incidentally. And were you at Hastings Station on Sunday lunchtime, or did you take the 13:11 train towards her home in Battle, or perhaps onwards to London? 0500 600 600 or phone the British Transport Police on 0171 387 0354. That's 0171 387 0354.
There are some cases like that one that strike a nervous chord across the nation. In fact, none more so recently than the murder, well, ever, I suppose, than the murder of a child by a stranger. When 2 months ago 14-year-old Kate Bushell was killed while walking a dog near her home in Devon, the story made front-page news. 3 suspicious figures were reported: a vagrant, a van driver and a man seen running from the area. The next 10 minutes could be crucial to the inquiry. Unless a viewer can help now, the killer might not be caught until he strikes again.
From the moment that you fear that something awful might have happened to your child, your mind fears the worst and prepares itself for the worst. And shock sets in so that you don't feel anything different from that moment onwards. In fact, you're just completely taken out of the world.
Exwick is on the eastern edge of Exeter, and people tend to know each other. So when last summer a vagrant appeared, a local resident took notice. So did his dog.
As I was walking up the lane and going around to the first bend, this character was coming towards me. He had a long checky brown coat, big collar, which was very tight to his neck, and he had long straggly hair. You had that impression that he'd been living rough and sleeping rough. you know.
The vagrant was seen around the area several times by the same witness. On one occasion,
The vagrant came out from behind a tree, crossed the lane and over the gateway. It was scary.
this was half a mile from Kate's home on a route she used to walk. It was Wednesday the 12th of November, 3 days before her murder.
Saturday morning, she got a token from when the Virgin Megastore had opened. She bought a CD for herself.
Come on, Kate, time to go.
She bought a book on The Simpsons for Tim.
What? CDs?
Oh, Lighthouse Family.
Who?
You've never heard of the Lighthouse
No,
Family?
I haven't. Wow.
She could be very adult-like at times. She could also be a very frustrating teenager to me, not to anyone else.
No trainers?
No.
She was a fun-loving child, good company. I've lost a very good friend in her. Just her cheerful presence around the house.
So what'd you get me?
I didn't get you anything.
What do you mean you didn't get me anything? It's my birthday. Can I have a lift to my mates, please, later?
We'll sort it out. Kate, do you want some lunch?
No, thanks, I'm all fine.
Tim, your dad's watching the television.
He's reading the paper.
It's fine, switch it on.
She was doing homework, 3 till 4:30. She was very conscientious with her schoolwork, and that's when I went up at 4:30. She was doing it.
It's 4:30. Time to take Gemma for a walk.
Gemma was the next-door neighbour's dog, and Kate had agreed to walk her while the family were away for the weekend.
My last impression of her alive was just that she came into the living room, picked up Stuart and Alison's key and went out, and I thought nothing of it. I just thought, oh, Stuart and Alison are away this weekend, so she must be walking the dog.
Her father and his children were out stretching their legs at the same time.
That Saturday, the weather did ease off a bit, and we thought it was an ideal opportunity to take the children out. We went down to the blackberry bushes, and of course the children was thinking that there may be some blackberries there, and of course there obviously wasn't. So we just carried along at a leisurely pace. The point that we actually stopped was at the gate. I looked at my watch, and it was 5 to 5. I noticed this young girl, aged between 13 and 14. The thing that was noticeable was that she had white stripes on tracksuit bottoms, and obviously she was walking a dog.
Well, actually, when we turn around the lane, it goes into a little bend.
We'll only stay for a little while, just for a cup of tea. She'll be looking forward to seeing us.
And we saw the dog, so my mum slowed right down. And the angle which the girl was stood was facing me, and she was looking right at us, which we thought was unusual.
She looked quite confident, and then we drove on. Then on the right-hand side there was a van, and there was a chap stood by the van, and he had his back to us.
No, I've seen him before.
I thought, wait a minute, what is he doing there? When we heard of the murder, we felt very guilty. We had a guilt complex about it, as if we could have gone back and helped her some way.
When I'd finished the ironing and got dinner ready, I was beginning to think she ought to be home.
It's 6 o'clock.
She's not back?
No.
Right, I'll get the car keys, we'll drive up there.
She was such a reliable child, and she knew how much it worried us. I suppose at that time I was more thinking I'd had an accident, but I think deep down I knew there was more than that.
We're just going off the lane, and then we go back down to the estate. We can't drive up there.
I can remember driving along and having the windows open just in case we could hear her as we went past.
If she's not at her friend's, then we'll call the police.
For some reason, I just began to get this sort of gut feeling of panic or dread inside. I knew there was nothing more to do. Suzanne, having already spoken to the police, and I'd seen them fairly briefly at the house, they'd got all the details they needed. And to me, the important thing was to go looking, because if she was injured or in pain in any way, the best thing was to get help as quickly as possible. I could hear nothing. As I was coming back onto the footpath route, I could see Gemma's eyes.
Gemma? Come here, girl. Come here, girl. Come on, Gemma. Come here, girl.
The next thing I knew, before I'd actually caught up with Gemma, I was at the top corner of the field where Kate's body was, and there was her body just to the right of me.
About an hour later, and half a mile away, with a police helicopter overhead.
I stepped out from the house and I looked up to see the helicopter above me. And then I heard footsteps running from the footpath beyond the house. I saw this chap running from the back.
It could be quite unconnected, but who is he?
Everything seemed to be being done in slow motion. I just sat on the sort of open back of holding Gemma. Nothing hit me for a while. It seemed likely that she was dead, but I couldn't be sure of that. I was just hoping beyond hope that she was alive.
Mike Stevens, this was tragedy enough, but I think you're concerned this could just be the start.
I think all the officers on the inquiry are really concerned that this may happen again.
What we can do at least is eliminate as many clues as possible. Let's take this vagrant first, who was seen so often up to the time of the murder. What do you know about him?
Well, we know he was there at least 2 months prior to the murder and went missing thereafter. He's certainly described as a man 5'10", 6 feet tall, 30 to 40 years of age.
He's the one on the left here, in the big coat.
That's right. Now, the big coat, you seem to be always wearing that coat, even when it's very hot.
5'10" to 6 foot, always in the coat, stocky, late 30s. Now, the next clue is that blue van which you need to eliminate around the time of the murder.
The blue van was seen there by the last people to see Kate alive. We know it was facing out of the lane towards Whitstone. About a quarter of an hour earlier, 2 other witnesses had driven down the lane and seen a blue Fiesta parking in the opposite direction. Now, we want to know if in fact it was the same vehicle, or in fact there was a Fiesta there, or a blue van there as well.
Saturday the 15th of November, that would have been about 4:45. And I think there's one issue which actually you haven't made public yet, but again it's a matter of elimination. You found a series of dens where children may have hidden, or grown-ups may have used around that area. You need to eliminate people who've used those. Tell us why.
Well, we found in the area of the murder itself a black bin liner. Now, in the bin liner there were some personal items, and from the bin liner we've had some fingerprints. We need to eliminate that bin liner and the bag itself.
And you want to make an appeal, a final appeal, or at least another appeal to the local community?
That's right. We've obviously had a lot of media coverage on this, but someone out there really does know about the individual concerned, and really we need that individual to come forward with that vital piece of evidence.
Whatever you know, please let us know now. 0500 600 600, or you can call other members of the murder team who are in Exeter tonight, waiting now. The number there, 01392 451 659. That's 01392 451 659. And now, here's Chief Superintendent David Hatcher.
I've 2 cases of money being stolen and good pictures of people we're rather keen to interview. First, you know who this is. She's about to withdraw several £1000s from a building society account. She was successful, but just moments after she left, a warning was flashed through to the branch. The money in the account had been obtained by deception. If you can identify her, do please call us on 0500 600 600 or Thames Valley Police on 01189 536 000. That's Reading 536 000. Now for someone who was fairly conspicuous back in August and September when he went on a spending spree right across England. The trouble is he'd financed his binge through a major fraud. Here he is at Tesco's in Barnsley, and this is at Thomas Cook in Northampton. As you can see, he's in his early 20s, slim and about 5'10". Note that Yankees logo on his baseball cap. Recognise him? 0500 600 600, that's a free call here, or 01604 703 503. That's Northampton 703 503.
Now let's take you back to a reconstruction last October. It's an appeal about a rape that took place last July. It happened at Primrose Valley in Whitkirk, Leeds. Now a Crimewatch viewer has come forward with some detailed information, in fact some startling details, and there's now a strong chance of catching the offender. First, we need to show part of the original film again.
Have you found anything yet? No, not yet. I can't see anything in this dirty water.
My daughter and my son, they were like any other kids, fighting over silly things. But if anybody ever did anything to him to upset him, she'd be the first one out to look after him. You'd think that your two kids on a summer's day could go collecting frog spawn without something as horrendous as that happening to them.
Have you caught out yet?
Just a few frogs and toads.
Well, we've caught one frog and one toad.
Don't shout her out. Just do as you're told.
Do you want me to pull them back?
No, just walk.
My son thought that this man had this knife at my daughter's throat because he'd taken frogs. He thought it was his fault.
The girl was raped while a young brother lay terrified beside her. Eventually the rapist ran off. But this is where a viewer's information can now take up the story, and with remarkable precision.
We know he sprinted out of the valley, clutching his blue T-shirt.
At about that time, a woman had stopped her car in Selby Road.
Noticed a problem with my car. It was spluttering. Put the bonnet up and heard a sound like a jump. And that's when I turned and noticed a man running towards me from Lucy Avenue. He appeared to be about between 25 and 30 years old. He had short brown hair.
Bitch.
Muscular build, about 5'9" to 5'10". Looks like he'd been working out. There's no flab or fat or out like that about him. I'd noticed he were really angry. I thought he'd had a fight with his girlfriend or a wife maybe.
You stupid idiot! I don't believe it.
When he pulled out in front of me, I was really angry. I suppose you could call it road rage. I wanted to chase him, and I wanted him to know what he'd done, and it wasn't really fair. So I'd set off and I chased him up the road. I think he knew I was chasing him. I noticed the car was really old. That's what got my attention. It was grey silver metallic colour, really dirty on the back. Really unusual stickers caught my eye, a classic badge. It wasn't factory made, it seemed to be some form of a kit. The Bluebird badge I'd noticed, which seemed to be really odd because normally you usually get a Nissan or a Datsun with it, and there wasn't, it was just a Bluebird. The light struck me as being really big, bold and square. They went all the way across the car, except they were separated by the number plate. The bumper was old and black with caps on the end. I'd also noticed this tow bar. It seemed to be loose. It had a black cover over it. I was thinking to myself, well, what am I going to do if I catch him? What am I going to say? I was really fearful that he might hit me if I do catch him. He seemed pretty angry at that point, so I didn't really want to harass him anymore. And I gave up chasing Temple Avenue.
So, who is he? Who do you know in or around Leeds who had a car like that last summer?
Now, we know who makes the classic badge and where it's sold, but who put it on that car? We think the car is perhaps 10 to 20 years old and made between 1979 and 1986. Above all, of course, if you can link a man of that description with the details of the car, do call us now on 0500 600 600 or free phone 0800 318 001. That's 0800 318 001.
Now, an appeal for a man and a woman who in separate cases endangered lives by arson. Both have been convicted, both have disappeared. Here's Detective Constable Jackie Haynes.
The first is a rather sad case, a woman who may have been traumatised during a yachting event 3 or 4 years ago. At any rate, she seems to have suffered amnesia and has had behavioural problems ever since. She's Leslie Ann White, a former Strathclyde police officer who was discharged on medical grounds. She then set up a clothes shop in Renfrewshire, but when the business got into difficulty, she set fire to it without warning the tenants in the flat above. She might be a danger to herself or others, so please let us know if you've seen her. 0500 600 600 or 01505 321 113. That's Johnston 321 113. Whereas Leslie White was reckless, our next convicted arsonist was downright murderous. This is Joseph Pius Patrick Dalton. He and his brother got into an argument with the owner of a Chinese takeaway in Coventry. They wrestled the owner to the floor. One of them rushed out, got a container full of petrol from their car, and then doused the owner and the shop with the contents of the can. They threatened to set him and his shop alight. Thankfully, police were called, which stopped things going further. Joseph Dalton is 5'8", thin, with an Irish accent, but where is he now? 0500 600 600 or 01203 539 820. That's Coventry 539 820.
Well, the phones have been busy tonight, but more on that later in the programme. There's a lot more to tell you about progress after Crimewatch last month. We've mentioned the arrests, but there are new leads on other cases too. First, the tragic death of Michael Pritchard, run over by a youth who stole his van. There's now a whole new focus for this inquiry, and police are very anxious to speak to a viewer who's already rung in twice. The first call, after a trail for Crimewatch, was made to a police station where he spoke to a woman detective. The second was here to the studio, so if that was you, please don't hesitate to call again. Ask to speak to the Michael Pritchard team on 01332 222 111. That's Derby 222 111.
Then the armed robbery on the outskirts of Edinburgh. A ram-raiding attack on a supermarket in which 2 shop workers were almost killed. 80 viewers rang and helped eliminate the owner of another car that was seen just before that robbery. As with the Michael Pritchard murder, there is now a whole new line of inquiry, though in this case not because of Crimewatch.
Then the 2 sex attacks from last month. There was the man who assaulted a girl in Surrey. His ruse is to ask children to help him find his dog.
You haven't seen a black dog, have you?
And the other was a rape in Essex, where a persuasive man has been enticing women into his car.
You remember me from seeing me in town?
Well, nothing concrete has emerged yet in either case after more than 400 calls, but there are lots of names to check, and we'll tell you more on that when we can.
As you may have seen, there's been another murder of a schoolgirl, this time in London. Hannah de Turville was 15. On Friday the 2nd of January, she was on school holiday and she told her mum she was going around to see a friend. And nothing more was heard of her until an anonymous tip-off led police to her body, which was dumped on Horsenden Hill in Greenford in Middlesex, not far from the A40. Hannah had been stabbed. Whoever killed her is obviously a serious danger, and tonight police have asked us to make the strongest appeal possible for the man who found the body. If it was you who made that anonymous tip-off, you've done one good deed, please now do another. Ring us now. A small area of Horsenden Hill is known as a cruising spot, and the call was made to the Gay and Lesbian Switchboard. So police would like to emphasise they are interested in information about Hannah's murder only, nothing else. So if you saw something suspicious in the Horsenden Hill area, if you made that call, or if you saw Hannah over the last 3 weeks, please call us now, 0500 600 600, or ring the incident room on 0181 200 1212. That's easy to remember, 0181 200 1212, Or if you prefer, there are lesbian and gay volunteers standing by at Gallop on 0171 704 2040. That's 0171 704 2040. Now again, here's Chief Superintendent David Hatcher.
This is a cautionary tale about money laundering. And in this case, the money really did need laundering because it got dyed bright red during an armed robbery on a post office. This man is trying to exchange it for clean cash by feeding stolen notes into a ticket machine and pocketing the change. This is Finsbury Park in North London. Maybe he didn't know the money was stolen and really did need 70 children's tickets on the London Underground. At any rate, he was caught on a whole network of security cameras. The money came from a very unpleasant robbery, so if you know who this man is, please call us on 0500 600 600 or British Transport Police on 0171 387 0354. That's 0171 387 0354.
Next, a case that goes back to April 1996. This man, Paul David Roach, is wanted for questioning in connection with a lorry hijack in Warrington, Cheshire. The driver was held at knife point while his truck was driven off and looted. 2 weeks later, part of the load was discovered in a lock-up garage in Liverpool. Paul David Roach is 30, a large man, 5'11" in height, with brown hair and a scar near his left eye. If you know where he is, do call us now, 0500 600 600 or 01244 613 808. That's Warrington, 613 808.
Well, look at some of the calls coming in so far. We've had 6 on the attempted murder of the Czech student. 3 names have been put forward relating to that video of her last movements. As we said, she was seen with someone in Hastings Town Centre. 24 calls on the Kate Bushell murder. 4 names have been put forward there. Now to a murderous attack at a jeweller's in Plymouth, Devon, to which this man may have some answers. Several unique items of jewellery were stolen, yet the curious thing is that for quite a time there didn't seem to be a crime at all. On Wednesday the 26th of November, a shopkeeper was found unconscious behind the counter of her small antique jewellery business in Plymouth. She was taken to hospital with a suspected brain hemorrhage, and it was thought she'd hit her head while falling down. She was so ill that her son was summoned back from his home in the United States, and out of curiosity, he went to the shop and he reeled back the security tape from the store video. Well, he was aghast at what he found. Now, as you can see here, a man enters, he walks around the shop, and then, while the owner is busy, he pulls out a heavy implement and he hits her. Now, that single blow was so violent, it caused massive internal bleeding. The image here isn't great, but the man is quite distinctive, and just look at the clothes he's wearing there. Who is he? And do you recognise the antique jewellery he stole? If you have any idea, please do not hesitate to call us right away. This man is dangerous. 0500 600 600 or 01752 766 999. That's Plymouth 766 999. And now here again is Detective Constable Jackie Hames.
Last month, viewers helped identify a man sought after a knife attack on the London Underground. The Underground has good security cameras, and maybe again you'll be able to help identify this assailant. This is Caledonian Road, stationed at 20 to 8 on a Sunday morning last September. Notice the people on the bench. The man stands up to stretch his legs and sees someone approaching him. The other man picks on him for no apparent reason, threatening him and brandishing a knife. The astonished victim retreats back into a passageway, while not surprisingly, the 2 other travellers try to keep out of their way. They're innocent, of course, but key witnesses, and it's important to trace them. The victim was slashed in the face, but thankfully he ducked backwards and wasn't badly hurt. Then the knife man just strides away. He's in his 30s, 6 foot tall, gaunt, and look at his hairstyle, it's very distinctive. He also has a Scottish accent. 0500 600 600 or British Transport Police on 0171 387 0354. That's 0171 387 0354. Now, a face you might remember because we showed it last April. Jason West, or Jason Tibbs as he calls himself, was wanted after slashing someone's face with a craft knife. As a result of the appeal, viewers phoned in with his address, but Jason had just done a bunk. He's plump, 19, with ginger hair, though it's probably dyed, and he's into pirate radio stations. Well, we never give up on any of our cases, so please call us on 0500 600 600 or 0171 421 0326. That's 0171 421 0326.
Back now to August and an astonishing robbery. where masked men rode shotgun through public streets. It was an act of sheer terrorism, and it almost certainly is the work of a gang that we featured on Crimewatch about a year ago. That was in Surrey. A skip lorry was used among a string of other vehicles. There were clear descriptions of two men. One round-faced, thick-set with dark hair and dark eyes. The next was stocky, well-dressed, mid-40s and about 5'10" in height. Now that robbery was in October 1996. Now roll forward to August 1997, and from Surrey to neighbouring Kent. This is the Quarry Wood industrial estate near Maidstone, and a stolen Nissan Sunny was parked outside a depot. It was almost certainly part of an elaborate escape plan, more of which unfolded in the nearby British Legion estate.
I was washing up and making a cup of tea when I heard the van arrive. When I looked out of the window, the van had parked up. The man was white, about 5'10", dark hair, short hair, and he wore a white t-shirt. And I found it a bit strange because he left all the windows open and the sliding door to the loading bay. He just walked straight into the field and he just disappeared.
Around the same time, a stolen skip lorry was driven towards a security van delivering cash to the depot.
Hurry up, John, hurry up! Get down on the floor!
A shot was fired, the guards were terrorised, and then the gunman made an almost ludicrous departure. But they drew attention to themselves almost every step of the way. This is the Allington estate, about 11 a.m. on Tuesday the 14th of August. And this is Allington Lock.
I was leant through the lodge speaking to the lockkeeper, and suddenly I heard a commotion behind me.
Oi, yeah, look at this.
I turned and saw two chaps in white T-vests and blackish tight trousers, a black man in dark gear, and they were carrying these heavy bags. I said to the lockkeeper, I said, that can't be right.
If I didn't know better, I reckon they'd just done a job.
Amber, that can look almost comical. Of course, the reconstruction kept back security details and kept back just how terrifying, appalling that raid was.
Yes, that's right. A shot was discharged, and if another robbery was going to happen, there's always a possibility that someone will get killed next time.
And this seems to be part of a string of robberies. This is a big gang. They've been planning this for a very long time. There must have been a lot of people involved, and no doubt a lot of leaks. A lot of people must have known about this on the fringes.
Yes, I'm sure there are people out there that know the identity of these men and where the vehicles were being stored prior to the robbery having been committed.
These are the men from the Frimley offence in October last year, well, in fact 1996. There's a very, very big reward. Just from Frimley alone, I think it's £40,000. There's going to be another reward for this one.
Yes, that's correct.
So there's a real good reason for ringing in, quite apart from the trying to stop these crimes. You mentioned all these lorries and other vehicles. The skip lorry, for a start, tell us about that.
The skip lorry was actually bought for cash in Erith a few months before this robbery, and it was parked at the Oasis Cafe in West Kingsdown.
Okay, now here it's a winter scene, but that's when we were filming it. Remember, this happened last August, Thursday, August the 14th. Skip lorry was taken from around there from 5:30 in the morning. I don't know if you saw that. And then the other vehicles, two vans, the car, some of those were stolen, a couple of years ago?
Yes, that's right. And they've all got low mileage on the clock. We're convinced that they have been parked or stored somewhere waiting for this to happen.
Then the final getaway was through a car park of a pub, the Malta pub near Allington Lock. Tell us about that.
Yes, that was the last sighting of the men, and we believe they got into a further vehicle, which was the last vehicle that we actually know existed.
Okay, thank you very much. Do call if you can help. A huge reward, and it's a very serious chain of offences here. 0500 600 600, or you can call 01622 654 753. That's 01622 654 753. As I say, either number could earn you at least £40,000. Now, here's Chief Superintendent David Hatcher again.
I'm looking for two Michaels, both of whom went missing, and in each case it just so happens that quite a lot of money vanished at the same time. First, can you help us find a barman? Michael Coy used to work at the Bell Inn at Chichester in Sussex, but in August he disappeared. Michael Coy is German with a strong, some say almost comical German accent. He's tall, 6'1", with blonde hair. He may be working as a chef, and we know he had contacts in Somerset. 0500 600 600 or the team in Chichester on 01243 520 264. That's Chichester 520 264. And this is Michael Christopher Good. He used to work at a corner shop in Swindon, Wiltshire. He was trusted with the keys to the safe, and he even installed a closed-circuit TV system. But his own cameras show he entered the shop at 5 o'clock one Sunday morning last September, and he hasn't been back since. Neither has quite a bit of cash out of the safe. You might know Michael Good as John Earp, or one of at least 17 other names he's adopted, sometimes with false documentation. And you might have seen him in Norfolk or Nottingham with a white Citroën BX 1.9, registration F365FGG. Incidentally, he copied that registration from a legitimate car. 0500 600 600 or 01793 507 944. That's Swindon 507 944.
In the past 18 months, there's been a series of attacks on girls in the town of Rayleigh in Essex. What started as indecent exposure became more serious as time went by. Almost everyone is now anxious to trace the offender and have him caught before things get worse.
Rayleigh Mount is at the centre of Rayleigh town. It's an ancient fort and the scene of two attacks. This one was around lunchtime, one Saturday in September 1996.
Can I take it? I'll give it to you on Tuesday. You know that coat I saw? Yeah. That's like Vicky's, isn't it? No, I saw that. Get off! Get off! Get off!
Keep quiet and you won't get hurt.
No! Go and run! Vanessa, run! Get off her! Get off! Ah! Nora, run!
11 months on, late one Monday afternoon last August.
No, green that one is. Thank you.
They've been best friends for about a couple of years now. They like going out on the bikes, seeing their friends. They're out of school and determined to have a nice time, and that's what they were trying to do.
You're going to go to the party on Saturday around Sophie's house?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. You can sleep around that night if you want. We can come round before.
All right then.
And they love the feel of all that wind that rushes past them when they go down that hill, and sense of freedom really going down on their bikes.
I bet you can't do hands-free.
I bet I can.
I bet you can't.
I bet I can.
Yeah, then go on then.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, you can't either.
Yes, I can.
Oh, wow, they're so good, aren't they? I wish you could do that.
Yeah, I know, but we can't. Yeah. What should we do now then?
Why don't we go home?
Yeah, but I don't want to go through that brown bit again.
Well, if we're going to Grove Road, there's a traffic bit down there.
I always say it to them when they go out. Don't talk to strangers. Scream at them if you have to. There's two of you, so you can both scream very loud and quickly cycle off. And they're, yeah, mum, yeah, mum.
Don't screw around and get out. Follow me.
My daughter said she could have just ran away, but she just wasn't going to leave her friend there, run around with this man and what he was going to do. I think they must have both been very frightened. Not to know what was, what he was going to be like. I think they drew on each other's strength to have got through it. I wanted to get in. He touched my girl. Not right. They're both so young.
I was finishing my paper round, coming out of York Road leading on to Warwick, and I looked back to check on some traffic. As I did so, I saw a jogger, bare-chested, tall, about 6 foot. He was of flabby build. I didn't think he was suspicious at the time because I see a lot of people on my paper round.
Did you tell anyone? The police? I don't know. Please, let's not here.
We're lucky that our girls have come home to us. They come home that night. I sort of realised that more so when, after she dried her hair, I always brush it every night and put it in a plait for her. And I was thinking, I might not have been able to do that. I might not have been out doing that tonight. I was lucky. We both are. Not lucky that it happened, but lucky that they come home to us.
You doing anything tonight? Nah, not tonight. I've done enough at work today. I'm going home doing any more. My brother and I was on the way home from work about 6:15, going along the Hockley Road towards Rayleigh way, and we saw the man coming along on the opposite side of the road. We did think he'd done something to make him be running like that. Yeah? Oh, easy night. What's this bloke doing? Oh yeah, it's a bit strange. I bet he's nicked that bag. Do you reckon? Is there a bus coming? No. Wow, weird. Funny. Yeah.
Well, Cliff Haynes, there does seem to be an escalation in the violence used in the attacks. What happened in the latest one we saw there?
Well, the girls were subjected to a lengthy, harrowing ordeal. A number of serious sexual assaults were committed against the girls, which also ended in an attempted rape.
Gosh, so there is the danger, of course, that he could strike again with even more frightening consequences. How has he been described?
Well, the girls from the last attack have compiled this e-fit. He's described as late 20s, early 30s, about 5'10", with dark, short, dishevelled hair. His build has been described as flabby. He had pale skin and his chest was hairless.
Now, his behaviour might have thrown up a few more clues as well, you think?
Yes, he's taken a lot of risks. He may well have acted impulsively. Anyone that... it's a public area and there's a lot of people about and he could well have been caught. His temper also flared at one point. One of the girls moved their blindfold down and his temper flared. So if he's in a relationship, it may well be caring, it may well be violent, and I would appeal for anyone that has any suspicions on who this may be, please come forward. Any information will be treated very sensitively.
Now, there have been relatively few sightings of him between the two attacks, September 96 to August 97. We saw him there, of course, in Warwick Road, jogging along, and also dodging traffic on the main road in Hockley. Probably one and the same man, but do you believe that he is your attacker?
We don't know. We're still researching that possibility, but we do need to have witnesses to come in to plot his movements. We need as much information as we can so we can actually capture him. And again, we would appeal for anyone that knows him or has any suspicions about who it may be, please phone in tonight. Any information will be treated sensitively.
Or who may have been attacked and haven't come forward previously.
Certainly.
Thank you. Cliff Haynes, thank you very much. Well, a dangerous man. 0500 600 600. And there are extra detectives waiting at Essex Police Headquarters on 01245 452 120. That's 01245 452 120. If you suspect anything, you must please call.
We've had 62 calls so far on the Kate Bushell murder, and that's just here in the studio. You can probably double that if you include the incident room in Exeter. Of those, we've got 7 names put forward and a lot of other details as well. We'll have to give you details later on Hannah de Turville, the student who disappeared and was found dead in London. There's one call, we hope it's the critical one on that. On the Czech student, 3 people have put a name so far to the person seen with her on the video we showed in Hastings before she got the train for London.
Well, benefits frauds have been much in the news lately. Legitimate claimants face cuts, partly because of the strain on budgets caused by people fiddling the system. This man has a stolen gyro cheque and a forged French ID card, which he left behind when he thought he was being rumbled. So here is his photograph. The same day, and he's now caught on another camera with another stolen gyro. And here are better pictures of him. Now, this man may be something of a Mr. Big in benefits frauds, a man who cons ordinary taxpayers out of huge sums of money. So if you know who he is, let us know his name and whereabouts, please. Will you call Greater Manchester Police on 0161 856 6050. That's Manchester 856 6050. Or, of course, call the studio here on 0500 600 600. Our lines are open here for well over an hour and a half. We'll be taking calls until midnight tonight, and you'll see other numbers on the screen in a moment. They're also listed on CFAX on page 621. Now, if you're online, you can email us at Crimewatch UK at the BBC. That's cwuk@bbc.co.uk. All information on appeals will be sent on to the police. And if you've any information on a crime we haven't covered, try Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111.
We'll be back with Crimewatch Update at 11:45, and we'll have a lot more to tell you then. If you can't stay up that late, do join us next month on Tuesday, February the 24th. In the meantime, don't have nightmares, sleep well. Good night.
Good night.
Meet the real Inspector Morse when BBC Two follows the Thames Valley Police Force, tomorrow at 10 to 10. Film drama next tonight here on BBC One, Mission of the Shark.
To them I had done the ultimate sin. I had left home with an Englishman who was of no religion, of no culture.
Bound by tradition.
It was Paul or Pakistan, and I chose Paul.
Exiled by love.
There are incidents where young people really have to run for their life.
There's never going to be one day that I'll die, don't look over my shoulder.
The high price for lovers on the run.
We still sleep with knives under our bed.
Inside Story next Tuesday at 9:30 on BBC One.
Your life's never ever going to be the same again.
There are some mornings.
Barry! Just passing. See ya.
Let's take you all, you zombie! When it would be safer to stay in bed.
What do you want to for?
I've got this woman, pregnant.
My name is Rick. The kids at the youth club call me Rick the Vic.
Only in this madhouse. Roger, Roger.
Thursday at 9:30 on BBC One.
What line of business in then? I own a minicab firm.
There's a change to tonight's schedule on BBC One, which means that the late film, After the Glory, will now be shown on Sunday the 22nd of February. That's to make way for live coverage of President Clinton's State of the Union address, a BBC News special, beginning at 1:45. A horror from naval history now on BBC One, part 1 of tonight's film drama, Mission of the Shark.